Hello everyone, welcome. A new microphone! Oh my god. This hairstyle is also giving me, I'm in year 6 and I've just gone abroad to Spain and I've had my hair braids and I've come back to primary school and I've kept the braids in to look cool in front of all my friends. So I'm not too sure what I have titled this video as of yet because it's a very broad spectrum of things about sustainable fashion, fast fashion. Growing up, I only bought fast fashion, only high street brands, and then when I started this YouTube channel, I thought I don't want to be encouraging people to buy from fast fashion companies because I knew it was bad. Primark hauls, Pretty Little Thing hauls, Zara hauls, there's so much of that already on the internet. I like buying secondhand clothes, so that's why I've done quite a lot of secondhand hauls, just to encourage people to shop secondhand more. Since doing that, it's completely changed my mindset on clothing and garments as a whole. Thank you so much for clicking on this video and for showing an interest in this topic in the first place. I don't want to preach, I don't want to shame, I am not in the fashion industry, I am literally just a person who loves clothes. Just trying to make a little bit of a difference in regards to the industry that people love so much, okay? I love clothes. Buying secondhand, it's more of a challenge. You find more interesting things. I just feel like it's more creative and out of the box. 2, I can't afford to buy brand new clothes all the time. That's also why I choose to shop secondhand, because I can get more for my buck, basically. Fast fashion is ruining the planet. I will go over this, but that is also the third reason why I choose to shop more sustainably as opposed to unsustainably, which is fast fashion. Why is fast fashion an issue? It is a billion-dollar industry that predominantly employs people overseas to make cheap garments. There have been so many cases of people dying in fast fashion warehouses. They get the garments made overseas because 1, it's cheaper, cheap labor. 2, they don't have legal obligations like they do in the UK. In the UK, you need a factory to be a certain way, safety-wise, so people don't die, okay? It's bog standard. They do it overseas where they don't have those legal obligations. Now with that, people do die. The people working in these warehouses are predominantly women. The world is running out of water. There's no other way of putting that. The amount of water it takes to make a single pair of jeans is roughly 20 to 40,000 litres of water. There's a lot of pesticides and toxic fertilizers used in the garments that then get put back into the ground, and which then ruins the ecosystem. I am going to be very broad with the things that I'm going to be saying because I can't go into too much depth about every single point because else would be here forever. Where the clothes end up virtually spending the whole of their lives is in landfill. Again, a lot of toxic waste due to the synthetic dye used within the clothing that again is being put back into the ecosystem, and also a lot of dye pollution as well. A lot of the dyes used aren't natural dyes, man-made dyes which are just polluting the waters. One of the reasons why fast fashion is called fast fashion is because it's made so quickly. There's such a quick overturn of it. They need a lot of natural resources to make these garments. It's made so quickly that they're not able to replenish the natural resources that they're using to make the garments. Can't replenish the source as quickly as it is used and then disposed of and then put into landfill. The quick turnover of micro trends has made this problem astronomical. Once the damage is done, it's irreversible. The term fast fashion should not even exist. On Netflix, they are known for their documentaries like Cowspiracy and Seaspiracy. There hasn't been one that we all know about that is focusing on the fast fashion industry. Whether it's this year or next, it will be soon, I hope. There will be a documentary educating more people about the fast fashion industry because there hasn't been one yet. We all are familiar with the brand Shein. I remember talking to my sister about this and we thought that when Shein first came out that it was like a scam website, because how on earth can you buy tops for £1 and get it basically delivered to you for the price of nothing? All this stuff, it seemed too good to be true. But actually, it's too good that it must be horribly wrong. But if you look in a label from Zara, it will say made in Bangladesh or wherever it's made from, with more details about the garment in a label. With Shein, there's nothing. No one knows anything about that company, which to me screams red flag. We are doing some things that are horrendous, that we're trying to be so utterly secret about it. A lot of fast fashion companies have stolen independent designs from small artists, small fashion designers. I see it all the time on TikTok, and it's criminal in its own right. I remember going to London and there were loads of stickers up in Camden saying that Boohoo steals independent designers' work. Do also have to remember that, like, they're not nice companies a lot of the time. I do find that quite funny in the fashion industry, that everyone just seems to like copy each other. I guess that comes with the trend cycles, but when you start noticing it, it is just really comical. So there's a few reasons and an overview for why fast fashion is bad. Now I am gonna go into alternatives to fast fashion and other tips you can do to help. I am going to start off with quality over quantity. Now, we've heard all of this before. You could have a pair of Topshop jeans that you like for a year, but then they start to wear a little bit and they don't fit the same, and then you don't feel quite as good in them compared to the Levi's jeans. They pretty much stay the same, but they're triple, maybe double the price of Topshop jeans. With quantity, you have that almost continuous good feeling of having something new. But that's one of the issues with buying fast fashion, is you're constantly buying new things because the quality is not good. It makes its life expectancy shorter, and like I keep saying, the clothes get dismissed, thrown into landfill. And I'll just show you a quick example of that. I love leather jackets. I feel like it's my go-to jacket. I did actually buy this secondhand, so also bear that in mind. Now I have gotten to the point with it where I have to throw it away because the faux leather that's on the shoulder pads and the neckline is peeling away. All synthetic faux leather jackets are pretty much the same. This jacket has been through some shit with me. I feel emotionally attached, which is why I've held on for it for so long. But alas, it must come to an end, so I will be throwing this away. So long, Zara leather jacket. You've served me well, but not well enough to keep you. Now what I do is I only buy real leather jackets. Now I know a lot of people don't support real leather, however I only buy secondhand. I get all of my jackets pretty much from eBay. This is now my go-to leather jacket, and I think I got it for about £8. This jacket now obviously had a previous owner, and this will last me forever because it's quality. There are alternatives to buying quality items for not necessarily a quality typical price range. We live in a world of instant gratification. We want to buy something, we want to feel good straight away. People go on Pretty Little Thing and buy a dress for the weekend, dispose of it, and just buy another outfit for the weekend. It needs to stop because it's a huge problem. I think in the long run it doesn't make you feel good. You actually just feel like a prisoner to repeating the same process instead of stepping back and having a different approach on ways that make you feel good about yourself. Timeless over trendiness. I actually made a video about trend predictions for 2022, which I do kind of regret now. Learning how to find your own individual style is key to being sustainable. Like, really, that is one of the main points, because then you're not a slave to what ASOS are putting out. You're not being a slave to what your favorite influencer is going to post on a swipe up link. By the way, I'm not saying that I'm someone who doesn't follow trends. I am not saying that at all. But I think a lot of the time people feel a little bit lost and don't know what to wear because they don't know how to like things that they genuinely like for themselves. For so long I've just been copying other people, whether that's subconscious or not. So we always do have that thought plant seeded in our brain on what's cool and what's not cool. The moment you start kind of seeing through that, you're far more likely just to hold on to that item of clothing and just wear it and enjoy it. Plus, the whole point of timeless is they never really go out of fashion. If you want to know what timeless means, just look at 90s trends. This is, again, just my opinion. I'm not a fashion student. Learning how to repair your clothes is seriously going to be on the uprise because clothing is going to get more expensive. So I think learning how to sew on a button, replace a zip, sewing up a hole. I feel like a lot of people just go, oh, that's a shame, just put it in the bin and get another pair, because it's not on their way of thinking to fix the item of clothing. I understand a lot of people don't have the time, but time is money, money is time. If you're buying something secondhand, that is extremely sustainable because you're not contributing to a new garment being made, which involves the manual labor of a human being and the transportation of the clothing and the resources needed to make that garment. You're cutting out all of those three major points. Now, I do get asked quite often, oh, well, do you buy secondhand fast fashion clothing? That is still fine in my opinion. So I do try and avoid brands like Pretty Little Thing, Shein, ones that I just know are really bad quality. Plus, you're supporting a individual on the other side who is selling their clothing. You're putting money in their pockets. Big brands who don't give a shit about you. No one cares about you. Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit angry now. Now, the next things I'm going to be talking about are not physical things that you can do, but it's more of a mental thing. It's to change our mindset on what clothing actually is, where it comes from. I did go over this very briefly when I posted my unboxing sewing machine video. It's to appreciate clothing a little bit more. Understand that every single item of clothing that you have ever owned has been handmade. There has to be someone physically putting together the item of clothing that you are now currently wearing. One of my best friends, Izzy, did a dissertation on the fast fashion industry. I've read it, it's incredible. She wrote a really important piece in her thesis that I am wanting to share with all of you. And this factor is for people to unlearn psychological obsolescence with their clothing. Now that's a little bit wordy, so I'll explain what that means. We live in a throwaway society where you buy something, you wear it a couple of times, and then you disregard it, and then you keep doing that. She quoted a source that said, "It is revealed that 33% of individuals considered an item of clothing old after wearing it only 3 times. Before purchasing something, ask yourself, will I wear this 30 times? And this comes back to micro trends. A lot of people didn't wear the items of clothing 30 times. They probably wore it 3. Can I picture myself wearing this in 2 years' time? And it makes you think a little bit more, and it makes you make more healthy, conscious decisions. Supply and demand. Let's just reconsider this a little bit more, and then maybe they'll stop making more. If there's not the demand, the companies are not going to make them. So you do have more power than you realize. Unfollow fashion influencers. I couldn't even tell you a list of people who do this because I don't follow them myself, but people who just do hauls of Zara all the time, and people who are just constantly buying stuff because they're being paid to get you to buy stuff. Unfollow these people because they just want your money. They say that you act like the 7 people you are closest with, like you copy their personality traits subconsciously. You are who you surround yourself with. And I really do believe in this digital age that we all live in, it's the same with what you follow on social media. It's the same with what you read, what you see. It's important to acknowledge that that does play a role in our lives, whether we like it or not. The subconscious brain is something that still boggles me. The moment you unfollow that person, you don't have that in your point of view, and you don't think about that as much. And I'm still learning how to find my own personal style. It's difficult when you've been influenced so much. It is really hard. This is another really valid, important point that I read in Izzy's thesis, and it's that we live in a capitalist world where it's buy everything, buy and you feel good, and we're taught that it's okay to overconsume. You see it all the time, these crazy hauls on TikTok of people being like, I bought £1,000 worth of clothes from Shein and I'm gonna unbox all of it. Yay! Be mindful on how fast fashion companies word things. The terminology they use is to encourage you to spend. Obviously, they want your money. They don't care about you. They want your money, okay? They want your money, so they will do everything in their power to encourage you to get out your card and put in the details. Are you summer ready? Have you got your summer outfit ready yet? Out with the old, in with the new. Be on trend. Treat yourself. It's Friday. Yay! You see these fast fashion companies using these phrases to normalize the throwaway mentality that I referenced earlier. It's very clever and it's very sly. And like I say, it's completely normalized. I have now put on the screen a list of slow fashion brands. Have a look at them all in your own time. So here you guys are. I've done the work for you. Can you buy from fast fashion brands and still be sustainable? The short answer is yes, you can. Absolutely you can. Because one of the main issues with fast fashion is people overconsume fast fashion because it's cheap and they're the ones who are putting out all of the micro trends. But that's not to say that you can't buy let's just use Urban Outfitters as a universal fast fashion brand. Let's say you buy a coat from Urban Outfitters and you love that coat and you wear it all the time and it's your go-to jacket and you just love it so much. That is being sustainable. You are using that garment to its full potential. You are being mindful. You're not over consuming. And also, you're buying it because you need it. You need to clothe yourself. You need to keep yourself warm. You do need to keep yourself happy. You need to keep yourself feeling good, feeling confident. So if you see something that you love, don't hold back. I just think where we need to be more mindful in regards to shopping fast fashion is encouraging other people to do it. It normalizes the overconsumption. If you go into Primark and you see a dress you love and you are gonna wear it 30 times and you just know it's your style, buy it. Like, don't feel guilty about that. Fast fashion is typically more affordable for the common person. A lot of being sustainable is just about your approach to your own personal spending habits. Some fast fashion brands are still slightly better than, and by better I mean sustainable, in compared to other brands. So Urban Outfitters jeans are still better than Primark jeans. H&M jeans are still slightly better than Primark jeans, but Primark jeans could be better than Shein jeans, do you know what I mean? But the umbrella of fast fashion brands, all in all, are not good, but some are better than others, if that makes sense. My own opinion as to why fast fashion is so popular. One, it's accessible. It's all online virtually, and it's really easy to scroll whilst you're in bed and pay for things without having to move. Two, it's cheap. You can get a lot of stuff from fast fashion companies, and when it arrives, it's really fun trying on the clothes and just enjoying the items of clothing. Three, people want to treat themselves and people want to feel good in what they're wearing, and I completely understand that. However, those 3 points I've just listed, you can do exactly the same buying secondhand and buying sustainably. It is very accessible to buy secondhand clothing. Extremely easy. And like I've been saying now, I have been doing that for a year and 4 months. I'm from a working class background. I do not have a lot of wealth in my family, I suppose. And it's really easy to shop secondhand. Charity shops, there are so many. You can, even if you live in a rural area, there's Vinted, Depop, eBay, it all can get delivered to your front door. It is accessible for virtually everyone. Two, it is cheap. You can buy so much secondhand cheap for the reasons that I've just listed earlier. Admittedly, a lot of brand new sustainable clothing is pricey. It is expensive, and I appreciate that, and I understand why that puts people off, but that's not to say that secondhand isn't cheap. And like I said, my leather jacket that I bought was about a tenner, including postage and packaging. It's crazy, guys. And three, buying secondhand means it's way less likely you will find someone else wearing the same clothing as you. Maybe a lot of people don't really mind this, but I love wearing a jacket that nobody else has, and that makes me feel good. It makes me feel more fulfilled than if I just went into a shop where it's already, all of the work is just handed to me on a plate. I don't feel as fulfilled. Admittedly, that is a personal stance. However, once you start getting in the routine and habit of shopping secondhand, you will still feel amazing and great in secondhand clothing. It is such a myth, and I think so many people believe that buying secondhand you don't get that same buzz and you don't feel as good because somebody else has worn it before you. It's a lie. I feel amazing in secondhand clothes. It makes me feel great. I think when you first start doing it, you may have this preconception of what it will be like. You just need to ignore that. When you kind of look at it that way, what really does fast fashion have to offer that secondhand fashion doesn't? I would love to hear your comments and your views. Feel free to comment below. I love this conversation. It fascinates me. It really interests me. I'm still learning. There is probably more to learn on this topic that I haven't covered. But when you look at it like that, there are two options there, and one is better for the planet and everyone involved in who made the garment in comparison to fast fashion, where there's a lot of destruction and moral and ethical things going wrong there. Like I said initially, we haven't seen a major documentary unraveling the horrors of the fast fashion industry yet, but I'm going to put some documentaries on the screen now. Have a look at all of these documentaries, please, I implore you to, because they go into much more detail about why fast fashion is banned. With a growing force of people deciding not to buy fast fashion, hopefully we may start to see more of a bigger change in the future. Thank you so much, everyone. This is the end of the video. I've loved holding this microphone. I've honestly felt like you should take me seriously because I feel like I chat a lot of shit in my other videos, and I appreciate you watching my video. Thank you so much for taking the time. And like I said, whenever it will happen at some point, when this major documentary comes out about fast fashion, think of me, okay? Think of me and think, oh my god, Bonnie Likes You said that there was going to be a documentary like this at some point, and I'm so glad that I am ahead of the game and I have some idea about what is going on in this documentary. Okay, now I'm getting ahead of myself. I'll see you guys next time.